What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Holy crap, there was about 3 people in the live stream, and now there's like 35 of you. So I was panicking for a little bit then. I thought I was going to be on my own this evening. But welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the new age Bitcoin cryptocurrency price around $89,000 on BTC. Great news. The story of the day, though, look at this. XRP is absolutely skyrocketing right now, and I don't really know why. Well, I do kind of have an idea as to why, but still, some pretty good news out there. Markets are certainly on the day. Let's not get super over ourselves. They are on the day decent, all right? They're on the day decent. I don't think this is like, oh, let's all go like super crazy, like, oh, man, the Bitcoin's going back to like $150,000. We'll talk about why I think that might not be the case. That got my throat a little bit. We'll talk about why that might not be the case. Some of the factors that are going into it. Equally, by the way, some of the factors that may push this market higher. And I don't necessarily mean like fundamentally higher. I just mean that people might just push this market high for a couple of key reasons. We'll talk about them a little bit later on in the stream, namely JP Morgan and what they're up to. That certainly is going to be something we'll debate. XRP, we'll want to take a look at that. Obviously, 2 big ETFs went live today. And so far, spot volume, FYI, $100 million. I mean, that's not fucking about, is it? Do you know what I mean? They are absolutely making it happen right now. Franklin Templeton, first day of launch, $21 million in volume. So these ETFs are starting to nicely bubble under the surface, of which I all think is going to be pretty optimistic longer term for the market. And as I talked about over the course of the last few days, certainly there feels like there's some more momentum coming in this market. But like I said, it's easy to sort of get like, oh my God, I think the market's going to absolutely go to the freaking moon. And we obviously need to be mindful of what's going on. By the way, real quick, if you aren't already subscribed to the YouTube channel, you should be. Here's a video talking all about how XRP is about to change forever with some specifics in there. And if you didn't catch my Bitcoin update video, then I highly recommend going and watching that. That's going to give you some macro data as to what the hell is going on with everything to do with Bitcoin. While you're here, click that subscribe button. It's up here somewhere. And if you want to become a channel member, get access to our premium Discord server, then click the join button. Bosh, Springer bring this up and it's like, hey, join the channel. It's so worth it, right? Not financial advice, just my opinion. So yeah. Anyway. Beebs, what's going on? Welcome in. Tony says Zebek. Yeah, Zebek's been flying today. Really has, actually. As is Sui, by the way. Been doing very well. Crackerjack's in the building. Mark Haynes, welcome in. Griff, what's going on? Good to see you. Did Franklin Templeton ETF go live today? Yes. As well as Grayscale's $40 billion trust as well. The Monad launch looks to be going well. I think I messed up my Atlantis pre-launch buy. Oh, Mark, no, me now. Send me a DM. I'll see if I can sort something out with the team. But yeah, yeah, Monad looks okay. I think it was down like 10% or something, which for a launch... you know, for a launch, you're kind of that, but no, it's actually up now, man. I was looking at this earlier. Actually, it's kind of looking okay. So yeah, fine. Yeah, Monad looks all right. Good news. Hopefully it'll do some good shit, which would be great. Anyway, welcome in TikTok as well. Appreciate you guys. Thank you for the heart me's. Again, absolutely share us out. There's a little button down here somewhere. Share it out. Tell your friends. Get them in here. It's an important stream as always. We cover just the macro that's going on. Keep you dialed into this market, but it's always nice to talk about good shit, isn't it? It's always nice to talk about good moves in the market. BTC looks like it wants to run a little bit further as well. So, everybody, with that being said, let's take a look at some charts and let's get into some technicals. So, as you can see here, BTC is on the move. That's great news. And, you know, we're starting to kind of see a little bit of a move furthermore to the upside, which is, once again, some pretty gravy baby news. And breaking above this downward trend. So, again, not confirmed yet. I would still expect a retest of this range. Maybe come back down, retest 87 tomorrow. And then we'll see kind of plays out. But actually, fundamentally, this is a nice little move. 2.5% up on the day. It's about $2,234, just to give you a clue. Everyone's still here. Sold all my bags. Bought 2 houses and a cat. Nah, Sammy Silver. I sold about 50%, but I'm still into some of the bigger ones, like ETH running today at 6%. It's pretty nice. XRP, I said yesterday, I hold my entire XRP bag, so this is a great one. Also, by the way, Pepe is up 11%, so I'm pretty pleased to hold on to a couple of these. And then I sold kind of my, you know, I guess my bags that, you know, probably, well, Asta, for example, I got out of that one, a couple of others. So, but markets looking okay. One thing to be mindful, the markets have gone bullish on upside. So lots of traders are certainly going long on futures on BTC. So, you know, be mindful of that. Will be an opposite reversal to where we saw. But this break of this downward trend line is good news. The macro, though, just so we're absolutely crystal clear here, the macro is still pretty bad, all right? So as much as it feels good, you felt this at 98. We felt this when the markets went, you know, from 109 back up to 114, and we were like, bro, it's back. We're going to the moon. Nope, we dumped down even further. So as much as I want to be an optimist, and I always am, by the way, I'm much more of an optimist than a pessimist, I still think there is an air of caution. Structurally, the markets are still very, very weak. And I would argue an urge to trade with caution as you kind of walk through these markets. And I think it's, you know, key to think about. A couple of key levels. We're looking at $91,000 retest. We talked about this yesterday. The first hurdle is already done. 91,000 retest, followed by then a 97,000 as we start to push back up to potentially retest that 100K line. If you went a little bit further out, which obviously we have been doing, and we've been looking at this more specifically, then you start to look a little bit more structurally sound as to where you get to, which, like I said, we came down, bounced off the 382 at 80,000. We're wicking back up. If we close today, this is the key price target I'm looking for, 89,766, which isn't the worst move in the world. We could break above that. As you can see here, this has become key support. We broke and retested this as support and resistance on this Fibonacci. So, you know, 89,766 or basically 90K close would be very bullish, I think, would be very bullish on a short-term macro basis, all right? Important to think about. And then you start to sort of push back towards that kind of 98,000, 100K line. So right now, though, you know, we'll take it. Bitcoin's moving. Good news as well. I'm not going to spend too much time on it. We'll talk a little bit about what's going on, or certainly my opinion as to what's going on with the Bitcoin price. But the story of the day, I guess, right now would be XRP breaking from this lower range line that, again, we've had these charts now drawn for, man, probably like, what, a month? Bouncing off this lower range and now breaking back. The couple of key things to think. Breaking the 20-day exponential moving average is good news. Coming in with volume support. And look at this RSI tick back to the upside. So RSI is starting to move certainly way more bullish than we have seen for a long, long time. Now, is this down to XRP inflows? We'll talk a bit about that in a minute. But overall, a good solid move on XRP, which we've been saying. I mean, it's kind of almost like, well, yeah, too, but you kind of said this about fucking 5 months ago. Buying and miss out. Well, I mean, it's true. 75K is on the cards. I mean, maybe. I mean, I'm not saying that isn't on the cards, by the way. We talked about that a couple of days ago. But as of right now, you know, we're seeing some solid movement to the upside. So, but XRP looking pretty good. Again, though, we are certainly, you know, what's the dump Monday morning? We did dump down a little bit this morning, unless you think it's Sunday today, which would be really awkward. But yeah, yesterday you said we did actually dump on the morning. So Bitcoin did take a dump, which was exactly as I kind of thought it was going to do. The difference is we got some pretty strong buy pressure coming in, weirdly, from the US. So here is market opens, by the way. So the market opened here, look. We did exactly what I thought we were going to do. So the market's actually wicked down to the 20-day, and then we came all the way down, retesting the lower range. We dumped to 85,000 today. Don't kid yourselves that this didn't dump down. But the US markets bought. We were down at 1.3%. So the markets did exactly what we thought it was going to do. The question you've got to ask yourself is, what changed here specifically for the US markets? Okay, so you can see here for me, 3 o'clock was the open time on this. So this wasn't just a macro, this wasn't kind of macro stuff. So not the bear market yet. I've never said bear market. I've said bearish market, but I've never said bear market. But again, got to be sensible. It's one day that we've seen a upside move from the lower 80,000. So, you know, the big question that we got to ask ourselves is, like I said, what changed in the US today to say that this market was going to be more bullish? And good news for you, I know the answer. So I'll talk about that in just a minute. But again, macro, we did exactly what we thought we were going to do, which was dump down on market opens by nearly 3%. Like I said, so market structure is okay. We broke above some of the key supports we've been talking about. Altcoins are driving a little bit this rally, which is kind of good news as well. So yeah, Northampton West, that is definitely one part of it, which has then driven something else as well. Ledo, it's more than that. It's way more than that now. We're going to talk about it in just a second. Altcoins having a decent rally. Look at Sui, nice little move. Zebek, Aerodrome Finance up as well. No, crypto certificate, I don't think so. That's my opinion. I don't think we can trust this move. But Jasmy 5 near. I mean, this is the thing though. AVAX has pumped 5%. You're like, yes, AVAX is up 5%. It's still $14. So much as our optimism is kind of returned, you got to think about this as well, right? When you've got absolute super bearish sentiment, think about it. You had a big push down. back in the last week, we didn't really see, like, you're seeing massive price fluctuations for big liquidity extractions. Be mindful. Optimism returning to the market. We may even see this kind of rally this week. Like, you may even see Bitcoin start to rally back up. Dead cat bounce, relief rally, whatever you want to talk about. And then boom, like dumping back down again. AX 2.21, I did see your message. Be very, very, very mindful. I'm not doing anything. I've got stablecoin that's sat on the side. Like, cool. I do not trust this move, right? And for a number of reasons, I don't trust it. A, it's too soon. This is my opinion. But B, you know, we're coming off the back of like a 45 grand dump, and there's no reason outside of a Trump-China meet and a bit of news on interest rates that is telling us the market's like pumping. Like, it doesn't quite add up. So be mindful. I'm not telling you what to do, by the way. It's your money. But, you know, for me right now, I want confirmation, and this is not confirmation to me. This is a one-day pump on a Monday. Now, you could argue and say, well, historically, we don't really see a pump on a Monday. That's true, but you can't trust it. I don't think you can trust this pump. That's just my opinion. I'm on the sideline. King can't. Yeah, look, I'm absolutely in a world where I have stablecoin. I could deploy stablecoin if I want. I'm not deploying into this. My view right now is I'm sort of out of that, and I want to just, I'm going to psychologically remove myself from that stablecoin number, because that stablecoin is almost my kitty so far to buy the next bottom. And then you kind of don't get weirded out about it. But like I said, we'll be talking about this. We'll keep you to speed on what's going on. But look, it's an interesting bounce for certain of some key supports and some key technical areas, which, you know, could signal a slightly better move. But yeah, Rob says I'm still skeptical, 100%. What do you think of Pulse Chain and Hex? I'm not a massive fan of it, if I'm dead honest. Not a massive fan. I sold Hex ages ago. Did all right actually on Hex, but yeah, not in it anymore. Disappointed. I thought you'd be more bullish too, but I am bullish. Look, don't get me wrong, I'm bullish. I'm not stupid though, and I think in this particular market, remember, if you're in a bull market, you're like, this is fine. Like, you know, I don't need to stress about this. We're not bullish right now. So again, what the last thing you want to do is ape all your coins in, dump your stablecoin back in the market, and zoom. Kaboom, tomorrow morning we're down 4%. Everyone's like, fucking hell, like, what the hell? So that's my opinion anyway. Certain levels need to be cleared before any trust or confidence comes back to the market. Exactly. So let's talk a little bit about why, because this helps kind of make a long-term bullish. Yeah, 100%. 100%. And equally, 2026, the more and more I research potentially 2026, the more I think maybe we could get a bit more of a move. Again, we'll talk about kind of why the market's doing, which is another reason why I think you can't trust it, but let's talk about it. So, obviously, Trump had a call with President Xi today, confirmed that they will visit each other later this year. All right, cool. All right, brilliant. They're going to go meet in, I think Trump's going over there in April or something like that. Brill. Didn't get anything else. No trade announcements, no trade deals, no tariff news, nothing. Okay, just like, yep, cool. We're going to speak to each other in April. Great. Okay, happy days. What we did get was this, 80.9% as a potential now rate cut coming in for December. So this is now up 50%. Now you can look at this one of two ways. You can look at it in the way of going, well, the Fed needs to inject liquidity, which is true. Like, we absolutely know that's the case. You can also look at it from the sentiment of the labor market is definitely weakening. And we'll get a bit of data. I think the first pull of some data comes in tomorrow. So we'll see kind of where that goes. But 80.9%, which means we've got like 2 weeks left until we get the next FOMC. We could see potentially a really weakening labor market. Let's say the dollar, which I imagine came down today. Let's take a quick look. The DXY did, holy shit, where's the DXY? DXY did come down today. See, call me surprised, bro. The DXY did come down today. I told you it would. Interestingly so, and the stock market rallied, etc. Coinbase shares. We'll talk about MicroStrategy that's up 5.5% in a minute. But this is kind of where if the dollar continues to weaken, the jobs market data comes in, it's not great. This is going to continue to go to the upside. Think about it. 30.6 low. Already at 81%. This could way be at like 90% by the end of the week, which would be bullish, I guess, for risk on assets, which would be great, and would certainly then, I believe, start to see a little channel here, which would be the potential of a 50 basis points cut, which I've been saying for ages. Not saying it's guaranteed, but it certainly feels like it could be something on the horizon. So you have kind of a couple of key things. What else is kind of going on that I think we all need to just take a moment and look at? And that is when I can find the news story, which I can't find it, which is kind of annoying. 1 second, everybody. Oh, I've got it here. Come on, 2 bits. Like shit out. Right, let me just bring this up, which I think is also a reason why you can't trust this market just now. Because I think there is... did I really not put that in? Okay, maybe not. Right, let me do this. This is another reason why I think you can't trust this market right now. I don't know if you saw this, by the way, but JP Morgan is in a little bit of bother again. Call me freaking surprised. So JP Morgan is going and has a massive short position on MicroStrategy. I don't know if you guys realize, I don't know if you guys know this, but look at this. So Operation Choke Point 2.0 regrettably lives on. JP Morgan debanking Chase and a few others. We'll talk about where that is. It's a little bit further on one of the tweets, but JP Morgan Chase ends banking ties with Strike CEO, rekindling crypto debanking concerns. This isn't the first time. They actually have debanked some massive... JP Morgan removes credit line for warehouse. I can't remember who it was now. I can't remember who it was. Tricolor. That's it. So JP Morgan basically called back a multi-million-dollar Tricolor warehouse line of credit. They were like, nope, you can't have it, you set of twats. And they took it back off there. And yet again, Jack Meller. Yeah, where is the... Man, I thought I had the tweet somewhere. That's super annoying. Oh, here we go. Boom, got it. So here we go. JP Morgan debanked the CEO of Bitcoin Exchange, and he got the letter framed instead of getting mad. So JP Morgan right now are either... Well, they're up to no good, aren't they? Let's just call it what it is. Because in one hand, Jamie Dimon's like, well, Bitcoin might be okay. And we're going to be a custodian to ETF products. And we're going to let our customers buy Bitcoin. It's fine. And then they're like, oh, you're a Bitcoin maxi. Get the fuck off our platform. So, yeah, I didn't read too much of this. But basically saying, like, you have got, like, yeeted out. So get the hell away from us. Which is almost insane, to be honest. But I can't really see it, which is kind of annoying. Let me see if I can just... We're going old school tech here, boys. Old school tech. Okay. And this is a bad picture, but it says, after careful consideration, we have decided to close your account. We understand this is a disruptive and want to share more information with you about the responsibilities of financial institution. Here, during the course of the ongoing monitoring, we identified concerning activity on your account that you are associated with under the Bank Secrecy Act and other regulation financial institutions that have obligation periodically reviewing customer relationship. They literally eat it. This is what happened with Crypto.com, by the way, with me. They were like, oh, we don't like the fact you transferred in $300. Where did it come from? Like, oh, DeFi wallet. Whoa, what you mean DeFi? Get the hell off our platform. Share the information with us as listed in the account. Destroy cards and check associated with the accounts. Cancel automated deposits and contact merchants. What the hell, bro? So see you later, alligator. They literally have yeeted. They have yeeted it. So now, and again, they've got a massive short position, by the way, on MicroStrategy. There's this huge thing. Boycott JP Morgan, which is almost hilarious. Close your account, move your money, and tell your friends. So, and by the way, people are doing this. Like, I don't know whether JP Morgan's market cap has been affected right now, but lots of companies right now are full sending and closing accounts, which is pretty interesting. Vern, thank you so much, bro. Appreciate you, man. We've got like nearly 100 people in here as well, so shout out to everybody tuning in. Don't forget, share out the live. Let people know we're here. I would massively appreciate it. Likewise, give us a little thumbs up on YouTube. By the way, over 130 people in here. We've got like 250 people right now watching this stream, so do me a quick little favor. Thanks, Vern, man. I appreciate it. Give us a quick little tap on the old screen arena. Give us a quick thumbs up if you're enjoying the content. Would appreciate it. And always don't forget to hit the subscribe button or follow for more. So, hashtag boycott JP Morgan. So you've got this kind of rate cut idea that's sort of, you know, floating around that all of a sudden is way more tangible than we've probably had for a long time with little change to data. And I do want to stress that. We haven't had a lot in terms of actual data that's coming out to say, well, something has changed, you know, whatever the markets are kind of, you know, not great. PPI tomorrow, obviously, we're expecting 0.2, so look out for that. 2.7 versus 2.6 year over year. So, you know, we'll kind of see when that one does play out. But yeah, it's kind of interesting, isn't it? Like JP Morgan. So you're sort of getting this weird GameStop idea, I think, which is why you're seeing MicroStrategy rally a little bit. And this is, I guess, the point where I'm trying to make, that we could see the market push. Reason why I don't really trust this pump, because this could be like proper GME, GameStop, like everyone's just gonna like attempt to demolish JP Morgan. I mean, they're not going to either, but the reality is that people could just buy MicroStrategy shares. I was listening to someone earlier on, I can't think who it was, and even they were like, oh, I just bought some, like, why the hell not? So, you know, interesting that we could see this, and I think could start some sort of, you know, TradFi, DeFi battle, which could be pretty interesting. And hopefully, DeFi wins, Bitcoin wins, and all of a sudden, you know, the whole market structure of traditional finance falls to pieces, and everyone's like, screw JP Morgan, I'm going to buy Bitcoin, and then, you know, we all end up on a beach in Aruba, which would be great, but we will have to kind of wait and see what happens in that. But yeah, pretty interesting, I think. Pretty interesting indeed. Okay, let's talk about the big mover of the day and why XRP is on the move, which is great news. So like we said, big announcement today. Franklin Templeton launching their XRP ETF, $1.5 trillion under management, which is a pretty big mover and groover in the shake, actually. Probably, you know, fourth to Fidelity, BlackRock, maybe ARK21, but big mover and groover in the space, which is great. And what's even more interesting is they went macro bullish, like proper bullish on XRP and on and what XRP can offer, which I think is great, by the way. Blockchain innovation is driving fast-growing businesses, and digital asset tokens like XRP serve as a powerful incentive mechanisms that help bootstrap decentralized networks and align stakeholder interests, said Roger Baston, the head of digital assets at FTI Global. Within a diverse digital portfolio, we view XRP as a foundational building block. Now, it's not for this live stream, and it'll probably be for a video. What do you think about ANKR, bro? I don't know what that is. Do I know what that is? Not sure. Remind me in 23 minutes. I'll take a look at it. Andy, what's going on, bud? I'll take a look if it's a DeFi place. Now, it's not for this live stream, but probably in a video, we'll talk about what does that actually mean? What does foundational building block mean? Now, you can look at it in, I guess you could look at it in one sentiment, which is, well, it's just a word. It's just a, you know, way of expressing their view of digital assets. They seem to be using XRP as it. Or you can look a little bit deeper and say, well, maybe. What's going on, Cheese? Good to see you, man. Davo in the building. What's going on, brother? Maybe there is something a little bit deeper to this, that it's actually a core foundational structure that is going to support global payments using XRP, using XRPL. And again, when you look at some of the data that's coming in, it's pretty interesting and almost to a degree, pretty convincing as well. So the fact is that now daily transparency and liquidity without the operational complexity of holding the token directly, Franklin Templeton's gone big, and they've gone big on XRP as well. So, you know, this is kind of a big news story. And then, look, just to kind of give you a scale on an idea, we'll track this most as we track a couple of other bits. We obviously track the Ethereum funds and everything else. But look at this, $103.19 million of spot volume. So this is where you've got XRP being purchased on the open market specifically for these ETFs. And when you look at it, well, the reality is there isn't a lot. Like, think about it. These are spot markets that we've got open. So you've got Bitwise, Franklin Templeton, Canary Capital, Grayscale, Rex Osprey, and Amplify. These are just 6 spot market ETFs. That's it. $600 million of XRP. So, I mean, if you wanted to, and Fairgrounds, I know you like doing this. It's time for some maths with 2-bit. Yeah, let's do some maths with 2-bit. And even better for you guys now, look at this. I'm actually going to do it live on screen, baby. So let's think about this. If we're doing $100 million, in fact, I really don't need to do it. I don't need a calculator, but it's funnier. So let's say $100 million in how long? 24 freaking hours. Now, I know what people are going to say. 2-bit's not sustainable every day a week, but let's do an average then. Let's say 75 million, yeah? So that's 75 million, 75, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, times by 7. Oh, well, no, times by 5. That's going to give us an average of $375 million of XRP spot volume in a week. Okay, so let's say first week, based on having 6 ETFs. Okay, well, let's double that to 12 ETFs. So we double this number by 2. What do we get? Well, we get a pretty interesting $750 million. Well, let's say that there is 24 ETFs. Let's times this by 2 again. Where are we at? What, $1.5 billion of XRP divided by 225, because that's the average price, means that, just in a quick mathematics, we are going to remove around 666 million XRP from circulation, which is, again, pretty bullish. And that's assuming we get to 24 ETFs. Think about how many Bitcoin ETFs there are. Think about how many, like, Ethereum ETFs there are. Like, this could end up being super crazy. And that's before you get into kind of leverage holding and all the rest of it. So, yeah, pretty interesting. And certainly, in my opinion, one worth watching. And we'll discuss this probably a little bit more in a video, maybe even the live stream, as maybe Friday's live stream will do a bit more of a like deep dive into XRP and kind of some of the stuff. JP Morgan shorted MicroStrategy because of the possibility. Yeah, but it won't come until, January. So I think it's like the 15th of January. Now, I've heard a really compelling argument. I'm going to deep dive into MSCI in a video. I think Wednesday that's going to come out. So I'm just researching it at the minute. So keep your eyes peeled for that. But yeah, this could be interesting. List leverage volume as well, 68 million. So far, pretty good news. And this is, again, before we start to get really big ones on. So, good news of the Frankel Templeton. In my opinion, good news. Davo in the building. What's going on? Thanks for the 10 TikTok, whatever they are. Thank you, bro. Appreciate it. And then, like I said, the derivatives and leverage. These are speculative ones, and these are just kind of, look, some decent volume, but nothing crazy. These are the ones that are actually buying XRP and removing it from the supply. And I think that's kind of important to reference. And this is why for ages, Hunter, what's going on, brother? For ages, we've been saying, look, once these ETFs go live, this could be a big news story. And I think it's playing out like that. We're still looking like we're going to pull back on BTC. I think so, Jamie, the mortgage advisor. I think so. I wouldn't trust this move right now. That's just my personal opinion. Doesn't mean I'm going to be right. I'm not some sort of guru. But I don't trust this move at the minute. I don't think that's unreasonable. By the way, circulating supply in XRP, just to give you a view, by the way, 60.25 billion. So if we were to do some more maths with 2bix, I know you guys like this, by the way. If we said 60.25 billion, let's divide that by the current volume, like let's say 100 million. Then in 600 days, think about this, in 600 days, which I know people are going to go to, but you are fucking mental. 600 days, the entire circulating supply of XRP could be removed, right? That's pretty interesting, okay? That's kind of cool. So then you say, well, what if we had 12, 24, 36? Let's say, what if we had like 50? What if we had 50 XRP ETFs? That'd be pretty interesting, wouldn't it? So let's do that. Let's do currently, how many of the spot ones we got? Man, we got 6. So do 103 million divided by 6 gives us an average of 17.16 million per XRP ETF. Times that by 50 would be $858 million of spot volume by XRP. Divide that by 2.25 gives us $381 million a day. Oh, sorry, 381 million XRP a day removed from the open market. Holy shit balls. Times 365 is 139 billion. XRP in a year would pretty much, in fact, it would take out double the entire circulating supply. Is this where XRP officially does not become available to the general public? Maybe. Jesus, where am I going? Bring us back on. Where I need to look at like some sort of SpongeBob plan. Anyway, where have I gone to? Bitcoin. Oh, Jesus Christ. I don't know where I went then. But we're back on Bitcoin. Oh my God. Do you know much about the dark pools as we need ETFs? So I don't know much about the dark pools, but I have heard people seem to be going down this huge narrative of like, oh, ETF dark pools. I don't even know what they are right now. In fact, XRP dark pools. Let's have a look. What the hell are they? I found an article that claims dark pool of institutions have been amassing XRP. Oh, these, I don't even know what they are, to be honest. The theory claims XRP is traded 100,000 in dark pools, but the pundit says they're just OTC desks, not private ledgers. Okay, I watched Zach Reactor's video. I don't know much about it. I don't like to get into really speculative bullshit because I just find that you end up down some random rabbit hole and it's not really any nonsense. But yeah. Thoughts on Mon? Yeah, we'll talk about Mon in a bit. I think it's been a pretty successful launch, not going to lie. But yeah, we'll talk about it a little bit. So, okay. Good news, right? XRP bullish, okay? What do you reckon they're going to do with the escrow? Sell it to banks. That's what I think they're going to do. Sell it to the banks that bid the most. That's my opinion. Right. Anyway, what's coming next? I think it's important to reference this. So updated BTC versus the ISM. We've been talking about this for a while. Now we're back on Bitcoin, by the way. We'll go back to XRP in a minute. No, I didn't. I said, tell me in 23 minutes, which would have been 33 minutes past 9. You're early. You've waited 8 minutes, young boy. 8 minutes. That's it. You got to chill, right? 12 minutes, I'm good. I literally have got my timer down here, so don't disrupt my show, bro. Are we mental staying in this market, not sell off our bags? I mean, look, you got to do you, by the way. I mean, I've been really transparent what I've done. And actually, I would give credit to Mr. Holmes if he's still in the chat, because he was the one that's really advocated for laddering in and laddering out. And that's exactly what I did. Took 15%, 20%, 25%, and then left like 50%, but conviction 50% bags. It's turned out to be pretty solid. And honestly, it is nice when you look at your portfolio, and we've all known days where your portfolio like collapses and you're like, oh my fucking God. It is kind of nice knowing that, right, that's my portfolio. And then I have X, you know, like, oh, there's my portfolio with like $3,000 in it. You're like, cool. And then I know that I've got like 1,000 in stablecoin as well. So I'm like, yes, I'm feeling bullish, baby. Anyway. So, Bitcoin versus ISM chart. Colin Talk Crypto here, giving us a very interesting chart, which could invalidate the bears. Maybe. I mean, you've got to kind of work it through a little bit more. But it says here, an update to the BTC ISM with the business cycle. Remember, Raoul Pal talked about this 5-year business cycle, the delay on the debt that was, you know, moved back a year, which is why everything's kind of a little bit cooked at the minute, assuming that this is kind of how it's going to play out. But maybe the reason is because the Bitcoin cycle was actually following ISM the whole time, and since the ISM is currently extended, BTC is too. It would explain the lack of euphoria as a regular person. Shane, what's going on, buddy? Welcome in. Thanks for the heart memes. Appreciate it. It does help out the channel, everybody, if you feel like it. Also, click the share and follow button. We've got like nearly 100 people in here right now on TikTok, so shout out to everybody tuning in. Appreciate you guys. An earlier next stop is usually late 26, 27. Actual euphoria companies due to ISM heading up steadily. So you've got the United States Fed Manufacturing Index, which we get a little bit more ISM data tomorrow. Is it tomorrow or Wednesday? ISM Manufacturing is, well, Jesus Christ, it's Monday, December 1st. I thought it was way sooner than that. Anyway, you've also got United States ISM Purchasing Managers Index, or the PMI Index, both of which are ticking up. Does this mean that we're actually potentially going to see Bitcoin tick up as well? Like I said, we could definitely see, like, it wouldn't surprise me one bit if we don't see Bitcoin rally a little bit this week, build liquidity. We'll touch on liquidity in a minute, but build liquidity, get people back in. Everyone's like, the bull market's back on. There'll be like a shit ton of leverage comes piling in, and then boom, Wintermute is going to dump about $3 billion worth of Bitcoin, and everything's going to go zero, and we're all the way back down. And they'll be like me going, here comes my 500x leverage. Not quite, but anyway, you get my point. So at the minute, Robert Dover, my view, I don't trust this move. I want confirmation this move is good, and that we're going to see further upside momentum. At this moment in time, just my opinion, don't have to follow it. Not financial advisor, I'm just a bloke who talks about crypto on the internet. Think about that. Okay. What else we got? Back to a little bit on the JP Morgan. Sorry, I'm jumping around a little bit. Grant Cardone, who we all know is a bit of a Bitcoin maxi, by the way, has closed his JP Morgan account. Like, this could run like, you know, GME and GameStop and all that kind of crazy stuff. But yeah, interesting or not. Does it make any sense? Does it matter? Probably not. All right, but I thought it was worth certainly touching on as we walk through. Business cycle, again, just to give you a bit more of an idea as to kind of where this is. And again, you can see this kind of delayment on the Bitcoin cycle, on the ISM and the PMI cycle. Is this thing going to play out? You know, we've been in contraction, which we know is that number below 50. We've been talking about that sort of as the data has been coming through. So look, the reality is this could absolutely play out a little bit more favorably. And then when you sort of look at open interest, which has been freaking skyrocketing, by the way. So Bitcoin's open interest just saw its sharpest 30-day drop since 2022, signaling a major market reset, often precedes bottom formation. If you look at where we've got throughout the course of the day, bear in mind this was a bit earlier on, open interest is moving up. You don't have to look at BTC futures, and everyone's going frigging bullish on the market again, which could end up, you know, negatively affecting us, but still, you know, still seeing a little bit of a push up. So, you know, good news that we're starting to see this trade. Historically, by the way, these have signaled bottoms in the market. You know, so you've got ISM that might be about to flick more bullish. You've got, you know, open interest starting to just pivot a little bit from where it's been. You got liquidity starting to come in. Fed rate cuts look like they're back on the calendar for December. Like, it's all kind of feeling pretty optimistic. Remember, though, this is where people can, unfortunately, get trapped in this market. So just be mindful of where that plays out. Bitcoin matched FTX era liquidation levels, but could it create the opportunity? That's the big question. This is the thing. By the fact that we're seeing this kind of oversold market, this idea that, you know, the market's over, the bear market's finished, the bull market's finished, then, yeah, like the reality is we could see builds come back in. Remember, FTX, when that collapsed, was the bottom of the market. And we've seen way worse. I know it sounds insane to think about. We've seen bigger liquidation events. We've seen bigger capital exit the markets. You know, pretty interesting. Silky International Style says, glad about the dip. Bro, you are a G, my friend. Well done. Will BTC go back to its all-time high this cycle? I mean, it's a hard thing to answer, isn't it? It's kind of one of those where you go, could it? Yes. Will it? I mean, I don't know. I genuinely don't know. Because there's an argument for both sides of the argument. There's an argument for both sides of the coin, isn't there? If you go down the, how does BTC get back to an all-time high? Well, you go easing on trade restrictions. Well, Trump's meeting with President Xi in China. Okay, you got rate cuts and liquidity injection. Remember, these are what stimulate markets. You've got easing in terms of some of the cost associated with manufacturing. Manufacturing may go into expansion. Automotives, which I think is a big deal, actually. What's going on, Hobbs? I think automotive inventory, and this sounds mental, and I think I told you about this before. This time I was talking to Grok AI, actually, but sometimes I talk to ChatGPT, and I just chat about like markets and what you look at. So if you look at new car inventory, specifically on a couple of manufacturers, by the way, if you think about why they would have more, like I think it's interesting. I mean, people might not think it is. People might think I'm a lunatic. So we've seen this, right? So what you've seen here is when you've seen inventory coming down, this is kind of aligned to historically optimistic markets, okay? Why would that be a important factor? Well, if you look at this, so we're on I think it's like a yearly chart. So take October 24 and we bottomed in March 25. If you look at that in terms of how that plays out on the BTC chart, so October 24, yeah, so October 24 is here to March 25. So look at this. So from October 24 bottom, which is kind of where we are in here, to March 25, okay, which is like here. Hold on a minute. Here. March 25. There we go. There we go. We saw 254% increase in Bitcoin, right? Pretty interesting. Now, when you think about it in terms of where we've then gone from July to where we are right now, I did not mean to do that. So July to kind of where we are right now, where have we seen? Where's July, May, June, July? So actually from July to where we are now, we've seen a decline. And I'm not saying this is like a secret code, by the way, but it is kind of interesting when you start to look at some of this stuff. What you see here is that generally speaking, when you get decline in automotive inventories, this is generally seen as optimistic markets. People want to spend more money. When you see increasing in automotive inventories, it's because people are buying new cars. If you think about buying a car, it's a pretty big luxury, isn't it? And don't forget, there's loads of supplements from the government, all this kind of shit. But it kind of plays out pretty interesting. Look at 2021, for example. The absolute humongous decline in car inventories is ridiculous. Look at this, 2021, right? 2017, look at the same. So even dumping in automotive inventories generally coincides with bull markets, right? Pretty wild, right? So I've been looking at this. Now, again, we are starting to finally see inventories come down on automotives. What does this mean? People are starting to buy new cars. This could, therefore, give us a little bit more optimism in the market, right? Good news. Equally, though, you got to think about the fact that so much stuff could change in this market. You got institutional money that still might dump and that still might just exit this market with relentless execution. Like they're just going to go, screw it, we're out. I don't care about anything else. So can Bitcoin go back to all-time highs? Yes. Is it likely to go back to all-time highs? I think it's probably 50-50 right now. That's probably where I'm at. And I welcome anyone's opinion, by the way. Man, Casper is up 10%. Still up 4 cents, though. I mean, up 10%. Same as the rest of the altcoin market, by the way. It's like, oh my God, it's up 20%. It's still miles bound where it needs to be. We did actually see, weirdly, outflows from BlackRock as well, which I didn't think we would. Well, I thought we were going to get. I thought we'd get way more than we actually did, by the way. We got about 1,500 BTC out. QT ending, Fed's cutting rates. Yeah, we talked about this yesterday, Beebs. They won't announce QE, though. They'll announce it as like, what did I say they were going to announce it as? Like corporate incentive, something or others, initiative or something. I don't bloody know. It'd be some sort of nonsense like that. But yeah, this is kind of interesting as well, by the way. We talked about this yesterday. Look at this. Coinbase Prime dumping huge amounts of Bitcoin, Ethereum into BlackRock. So, I mean, you could be like, well, you know. Look at this, 26 milli, 5 hours ago. Let's work it back on the hourly chart just because it's funnier. 5 hours ago. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, what a surprise. We see the big spike up. BlackRock are buying loads of fucking Bitcoin. Coin Cypher Lab, thank you for the heart, mates. Appreciate it, man. XRP Flying James, you know what's up, bro. Fairground is officially bullish as well. Yeah, XRP, it's cooled a little bit, but 225 is decent. 225 is decent. So, you know, look, I guess that's kind of where potentially we get to, by the way. Other thing to note, by the way, look at this. Crypto CME futures hit is a record high. 795,000 contracts, bro. Get ready. This is all pretty bullish. Yeah, day crypto derivatives volumes up to 132. I do recommend, by the way, just learning what derivatives are because they are fucking wild as a contract. I mean, insane. And then, like we said, Grayscale's XRP and Doge ETF start trade on the New York Stock Exchange. ARCA is in demand as accelerates. We touched on this here. I don't have the Dogecoin ETFs, but yeah, good news. And we're seeing some good inflows on there as well. So become a pro for free. No, thank you. Yeah, good news if you ask me. All good news. Again, you know, be mindful of this move. Just my opinion. Just my opinion. Okay, right. Who wanted me to look at a specific coin? Because I'm there. We're at 30 minutes past. We've been live about half an hour. I don't know where this freaking time goes on this stream sometimes. Is it ANKR or something? If you're still here, let me know in the chat. Otherwise, I'm not looking for it. But yeah, what do you guys think of XRP ETFs? And let me know in the chat, by the way. Both chats, actually. TikTok. And don't forget, tap a little screen, lock in some likes, hit the follow button if you haven't already. Do share us out, by the way. There's a little button here. Like, you press this, share it with your mates, and be like, oh my God, bro, I just found the best channel on TikTok talking all about crypto, and he's normal. He's not like some complete chopper. Likewise, YouTube, do me a quick favor. Yeah, do me a solid. Hit the like button. I do appreciate it. Right, ANKR. I got it here, bro. Look at this. I got it here. Chat, what do we think? What do we think on this? Chat. Jesus Christ. Please tell me you're not invested in this. Chat. Okay, I'm going to read you some comments. Here we are. Look, young boy. This is what I get for ANKR, which I think we've looked at. Good news is up 2.75. I'm assuming this is the one, but I'm going to let chat decide what they think that you should do. Yeah, that's got the most liquidity in as well. Holy crap. Where's the best place to buy XRP ETFs? I think like Robinhood and people do it. Pooh. Yeah, I mean, that's it. So no, Todd knows what's up. Magic Craig says no go. Yeah, I think like Robinhood maybe. Stu. Like it. Crackerjack's dumped his portfolio. Yeah, I don't think I would go into ANKR, mate. Just if I'm dead honest, I don't necessarily think there is a reason to. I think you'd be able to find a way better coin than that. Just my opinion. Zorn, Z-O-R-N. That's not a DeFi one, though. Let me close some of these windows out. A lot of windows open right now that I don't need. Let me close some of these. We'll keep BlackRock's wallet open because I'm curious about that. Curious about whether these choppers are up to. How is the volume looking for Franklin Templeton and Bitwise? Yeah, pretty good. Sea Blues, pretty good. Franklin Templeton, 21.43 million in its first day. And yeah, Bitwise, look at this. 34.3 million, which I believe is actually increasing right now. So I think it did like 18 million on its first day. So yeah, they're absolutely starting to move to the upside, which is good. We're seeing more volume land on these ETFs. And again, $103 million is the total volume that's run through these. So yeah, pretty big. Good first day, I think. Good first day. ANK, I've made bits on that. I think I still hold some. Fair play, Mouse, you legend. Ciao, to a bit. What are the inflow for ETFs today? Well, macro ETFs, Bitcoin and ETH. Yeah, I think it's a bit of a meh, if I'm honest. Nothing super crazy. I mean, BlackRock dumped about 1,400. Doesn't look like it'll be offset. Very quiet, which could mean that people will buy XRP ETFs. I mean, you can't deny it. 100 milli there is, you know, a decent number. I don't know what it's done in terms of ETH ETFs today, by the way. I don't know what the volume looks like. Yeah, I can't even see it, actually. Ethereum ETF overview. What do we get on volume? Here we go. Not a great deal, in fairness. Well, a little bit, but nothing crazy. I mean, we could even get more volume on the XRP ETFs than we've got on Ethereum ETFs. That'd be pretty freaking wild, actually. That would be pretty wild, and also be pretty good news as well. And that's why you're seeing like a strong move, by the way. 243, XRP 225, so Bitcoin back above 89k as well. So nice little mover here. Marty says, you were so bearish and de-risked. I can't blame you, but I can't agree with your analysis. Look, and again, this is where we'll disagree. It's one day. Look, this is why, by the way, this community is the best community ever. We can have discourse, we can have conversations, we can disagree, which is important. Disagreeing is important. Remember though, Marty, I was only 50% out. So like, for example, I was 100% still in my XRP position, 100% still in my Solana position, about 80% in my Ethereum position. So I sold risk. Aster, it's moved 3% today. Don't care. And bear in mind, I sold at 98k BTC on quite a few of them. So where was 98k BTC? Just an example. It was like back up here, man. I'm on the 1 hour chart. Jesus Christ. So yes, we've moved today. Great news. But I sold up here. I was selling here. So where was that? Like November 14th. So if you think about where, I mean, Aster was probably one that maybe I quite didn't get it. And then I sold some of my, like, I guess my, I'm not going to say comedic Ethereum, but yeah, I mean, look, we'll see again. Just to be clear, by the way, I want this market to go fucking nuts. I want it to go like 200k BTC, 18k Ethereum. No, I didn't sell everything. So I sold about 50% of my portfolio and I went into stablecoin, which was on much more like, so like, for example, Sui, I sold Sui back up here somewhere, like $2. Okay, cool. I got in at 171, decent. So I sold my Sui. I sold, what else did I sell? Aster. So I sold Aster. I don't think I sold it for this. I think I sold it for a little bit less, actually, in fairness. But I got out of that. What else did I get? Man, what else did I sell? I can't remember what I said I sell. Like some of my like DeFi Ethereum. So anything that I did like MetaMask, sold it. So yeah, so I've got stablecoin. Like I'm chilling with stablecoin. Equally, I've got a strong portfolio. My entire XRP bag's still well in the mix of things. So yeah, that's turned out to be pretty well. I just de-risked. I wouldn't say I sold. Well, I did sell. Just de-risked. That's kind of where I got to. Right, but 50% stable until when? Well, I mean, until I get either confirmation that the market is going to move to the upside or the market's going to move to the downside. So, right now, and I said this right at the start of the stream, it's nice to know that I've got that. So let's say the market just goes to zero. Randomly, market goes to zero, right? Whatever. Then I know that I've got some capital ready to deploy when the bear market comes. Like, cool. If we were to see a drop, probably, I mean, we talked about this on the macro. So if you said, where do you think the market's going to go as a bull market, for example, right? As a bear market, sorry. That's not right. Where do I think the market's going to go? Where would I be looking for as a potential re-enter the market? Well, my bearish of bears is 57,700. So anything between 57 and 60k is probably where I'm at for a potential bottom, which would be in line, generally speaking, with what we see historically from some of these push downs. So if you think the 618 is around 54%, if you took the same here from the top to the bottom of the bear market, it's about 70%. So history tells us that the bear market seems to get shallower as the market goes up. So, I would be looking as an entry point, bear market bottom into there, potentially with it. Now, if you said, well, what happens if the market rips back to the upside? Well, if the market rips back to the upside, A, I'd want some strong confirmation. And B, for me, I would probably be looking at re-entering somewhere around here, which again would confirm a bullish trend. It would absolutely confirm the reversal and would give us some momentum to the upside, giving some key indicators would flip bullish. So like, I'm not going to enter back here. Like this is one day. I'm not going to lose my sleep over it. Could you technically pull the same chart on Jasmine and come to the same conclusion as ANKR? I feel like I don't know enough about ANKR, and I feel like I'm just going to slam it again. If I know Mikey will relaunch his USDT when he relaunches REC, it's safe to do so. I mean, yeah, I would keep an eye on REC this week. That's all I'm saying, boys. Because if the market does move, which, like I said at the start of this stream, we could absolutely see this market move this week. 100%. We could see liquidity come in, people being like, shit, the bull market's back on, like people pile leverage in. And then, the market gets absolutely demolished. There's some key levels, ETH at 3K at a break. Like, I know it's your strategy. It's, you guys do what you want to do. That's my opinion. But all I'm saying is I would be mindful. Now, at the same time, we have had 2 candles, which is good. That's 2 strong candles that are moving to the upside. So yeah, for sure, keep your eyes on it. And Like I said, I want to see this market. Trust me, I want to see this market go to the freaking moon. I really do. Every time I sell XRP, I feel sad, and then I end up buying back in again. I'm 99% sure it's going to change my life. I just need to find out how I can earn a passive income from it. Well, it's a great question. I kind of feel like there is, but I don't know where they are. I can't remember where. Is it like Flare Network? You can do something with Flare, I think. You just have to be mindful. Whenever you're in DeFi, though, you could lose everything. So just be careful on that. But yeah, anyway, good news. If you ask me, certainly we want to see a little bit more optimism. Tomorrow, there's a lot of data that lands tomorrow. So, you know, be ready. PPI, core PPI, albeit look okay. They don't look super crazy. They look all right at the minute, expectations. You've also got house prices, which, you know, we haven't ever really got into on this channel because I don't really know enough about it. But I know the housing market could show retraction or expansion in equity markets, which I think is going to be important as well. You've got a little bit of manufacturing data, but you've not got anything crazy. And then obviously we go into Wednesday, which could be a bit... I'm out with my boss tomorrow as well. And I really don't want to do it. I really don't want to have a day out with him tomorrow, but yeah, we'll see. You also get ADP, by the way, so we'll see what that looks like. Job market data could end up being another, you know, just something else to be mindful of as we kind of walk into the market. So yeah. Definitely worthwhile thinking about. By the way, if you haven't already hit the like button, do so. Also, if you haven't already joined my free Discord, link is in the description. It's totally free to get involved in. Also, it's in my bio on TikTok as well. So if you want to get in there and join nearly 300 other people. By the way, was loving the conversation in there last night. Loving it, actually. So really starting to get a little bit of momentum in there. People chatting about certain things and, you know, kind of things that can happen in the markets. Weirdly, Austin Hilton apparently has joined my Discord again. I don't think that's the real Austin, but hey. You never know. Maybe Austin's looking for content. It's like, shit, I need some content. Where am I going to go? I know where I can go. 2bit, I'll have some good content. Yeah, we are at 299 members. Oh my God, we're at 300, baby. So get into that free Discord. I recommend it's worth it. Goliath says, I've got XRP. Hope it goes up enough so that I can make a light production company. I need to make £11,000 to have a base equipment in my expense. To have base equipment, laugh mile, it's expensive. Holy shit, what are you trying to build? A light production company? What are you making? Hi mate, you in Monad? So I'm not in Monad actually. I am in Atlantis, which is going to be built on Monad. I did get into the pre-sale of that, but look, I like Monad at the minute, and I think what's positive is it hasn't seen a big old shit show that we've seen a number of times before. Obviously, it's been in testnet for ages. These are perpetual swaps, actually. But yeah, I mean, Monad looks kind of all right. You know, integration into MetaMask day one, which is kind of good. Let me go here and take a look at it. Davo coming in fresh with a channel membership, bro. Love it. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Yeah, so it's up 22% on the day. Look, Monad. That's a nice launch, bro. You can't argue with that. Can't really argue with that, can you really? That's a nice launch. Great. Hey, if you go into the pre-sale on Monad, you are doing well because you must be up about 20%. What was the pre-sale price? 0.02. Yeah, man, you got a decent move today. Yeah, I put 1,000 in and come out today, dumped, and now gaining momentum up 300. Let's go, Josh. Yeah, and by the way, that's before the whole ecosystem like explodes. Look at it. Coinbase, Upbit, Bybit, BitGet, Gate.io, KuCoin, Mexi, Crypto.com, Kraken, and Bitmart. And that's just the first page. Like, I mean, yeah, it might be a movie, you know. Fuck. Maybe I should have got into it. Bro, I should have put my entire stablecoin portfolio into it. What was I doing? What was I doing, bro? Texas, sorry, missed comment. What have you sold 2bit? Oh, just like my risk coins. Aster, Sui. Man, what else did I say? Well, I can't remember what I said now. But like I'm in like Ethereum, Solana, XRP, like still holding those like top end coins. So my money's up 44% on Coinbase. Nice. Light production is like lighting for musical and shows. Oh, nice. Mouse to hold a chunk of Flare also, so eventually, hopefully, they can make $1 million, baby. Yeah, nice. That's what you want. That's what you want. But yeah, I mean, Monad looks cool. So I'm excited. If the Monad ecosystem does well, then a lot of DeFi players that go onto Monad could be pretty good as well. So yeah, I'm excited, man. That's a nice little move today. Volume looks good. Now, volume's obviously going to be pretty exciting. But yeah, 444 milli in its first day. But, you know, the fact it's on there. What they need to make sure they keep doing is pushing and advancing the network and making sure that, you know, people are all about it, which is good. You have 300 members now on DC. Let's go, baby. Galactic. Welcome. There you are, Galactic. Man, I feel like I should do something for being the 300th The 300th member. I'm going to bring your name up on the screen. There you go. Look. Galactic is the 300th member of the Discord. Bullish on you, bro. Bullish on you, my friend. Way, Galactic. That way, sorry. Shout out to you, man. Thank you for coming in. Anyway, welcome into the Discord. Appreciate you. Mike, I have to admit, I'm surprised you didn't buy any XRP under $2. Is all that stablecoin on the side? Yeah, but you know, this is what you got. This is a thing, though. This is why people get wrecked in this market, genuinely. Because when you look at it now, you're like, oh yeah, man, Jesus, I should have bought SUI and it's up 15%. Hindsight's a great thing, but if you get into the mindset of like that money's there and I need to deploy it into the market, I guarantee you end up getting wrecked. Guarantee it. So like that stable coin, it's like done. I just don't even care about it. It's like it's out of the market, it's put on the side, and it is what it is. That's my view. And then my view on the back of it is I'm still in on some positions. I'm still taking some opportunities when they come up. So again, pre-sale for Atlantis. You know, we'll see what it does. Like if that does well, then cool. I'll rotate some of that back into, you know, more traditional coins. But I think if you get into a world where the stable coin is a fluid pot that you can use, I think you end up making bad decisions. Personally. That's my opinion. No, I haven't sold tech. I haven't sold any. So XRP and Solana, I'm 100% still in those positions. I sold about 20% of my Ethereum portfolio. Bear in mind, Ethereum was my biggest holding. I sold Aster. I sold SUI. I mean, in fairness, I sold SUI at 202 and it's at 154. So I made a little bit on there. But yeah, like the rest of it, I'm still in. So what difference a few days makes? Last week we were all today things don't look so bad. Yeah, 100% Mouse. They don't look so bad. Again, I still don't fully think you can trust this this market pump. Josh says, "Is this your full-time job, mate?" I wish this was my full-time job. No, I do a full-on 9 to 5. Like literally last week I worked Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, off Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, today, tomorrow, Wednesday. So I've literally done like, man, yeah, I'm gonna do like a 7-day straight. Oh, Jesus Christ! But one day, stay consistent, put good content out, build a great community, try and do right by people, then you never know. You know, you never know. Country says, you're one of the best, bro. Ah, you massive legend. I caught a couple of your lives. And, bro, who the hell has lunch with a UFC superstar? Love it. What's going on, man? I appreciate you for sure. I appreciate those kind words as well, buddy. Really do. Top man, you like me, just hoping for the best. Only takes one right. Yeah, I mean, that's true. Look, I've been grinding this shit since 2021, so... I think for the first time, realistically, I probably, I mean, I probably could go full time on YouTube, but it's so volatile. Like you can have a month and you're like, oh my God, this is great. And like views skyrocket and you're like, yeah. So I'll give you an example. Like 3 months ago, XRP was the hottest content you could talk about. And obviously I've talked about XRP for like the last 18 months where even when people were like, it's a scam coin, it's going to freaking zero. I don't know why people are covering it. Like, I've even had people leave the channel because they were like, bro, you should talk about this coin and not XRP, like it's a scam. And yeah, you're like, oh my God, the channel's doing like 300,000 views a month. This is great. And then like, for whatever reason, it just dies a death. And you're like, God, I'm struggling to even get like 500 views on a video. Like, what the hell? But yeah, it's fine. But if you have to admit, I don't think you can go wrong with XRP. Yeah, I mean, that's true. Man, you probably lost a lot. What do you mean? 2-bit, you buy Solanix in the pre-sale at 0.01 cents and then it launched at 0.001. What you can explain, please? I do not know. Launched at 0.001. Are you sure? Doesn't make any sense. Are you sure it didn't dump as 0.001? Let's have a look. Let's see if I can find an answer for you. Breaking the Trump DOJ's file with the Supreme Court to strike down state laws bearing public current. Okay, I'm not going to get into that. Solanix. Let's have a look. Solanix. Tokens have been listed on several platforms. Altogether, TGE. November 20th. I have 230 XRP. What I've spent like 500-ish on, and I'm 16, so I don't have income, so good enough for me. Mate, it's better to be in it than not. That's my opinion. That's my opinion. If you're in it, great. If you're not, then, you know, bad news, in my opinion. So, when did it launch? I mean, Solana, where is it on DeFi? Let me have a look on DeFi. It's weird, Will, that if financial won't get 16 cents, it's been at 50. Yeah, I mean, but did you see Eric Trump's video today from American Bitcoin? Like, that looks wild, bro. That looks like super wild. Thoughts on coins those people are trying to get you to promote were a scam? Which coins were those? The coins those people were trying to get you to promote were a scam. I can't remember which ones you're talking about. I keep getting loads of people asking me about some random meme, like random, like media site or something. Like I even had someone today. This isn't a joke, by the way. Someone literally sent me a message saying, I'm going to read you the first words of it. Where is it? Oh man, have I deleted the message? Well, maybe I have. Maybe I banned them. They were like, oh, I heard you had a you made my colleague upset. And I'm like, they were like, can you fill this feedback form in? Can you say this about this? Can you have a look about that? And I'm like, what the hell? What the hell are you talking about? Oh my God, there we go. 300 people in the Discord. Let's go. Tiberi, I can't find anything. I will have a look, man. See what's what. See if I can try and piece together what the hell's going on. Because I can't see it. It doesn't look like it's moving on CoinMarketCap. I just need to find out where it got listed, but I'll take a look and I'll let you know tomorrow. In my opinion. Speaking of USC, the White House is hosting the UFC event June 14th. Yeah, I heard about that. It's gonna be pretty good. Any platforms you recommend or personally use for staking? Thanks. So there's a couple of places that you can stake. So I use DeFi staking. So Solana I stake on Phantom Wallet. Trust Wallet's got some nice staking, like 5% USDC. Coinbase as an exchange has staking that you can use it. There's not a lot of native staking outside of probably something like Solana before you get either onto an exchange or before you get onto like yield farming, where you are essentially using something like Aave as a farm to create yield. But yeah, it depends what you're looking for to stake personally. Magical, yeah, I'm 16. When I'm 18, I'll make an account and get my dad to send me the XRP so I don't get taxed 50%. It's not a bad idea. Remember, you only get, I think it's £3,000. You sound like from the UK as well. £3,000 is the is capital gains tax. So yeah, but yeah, staking, by the way, I've staked my Solana now forever. It's still staked actually. So yeah. Yeah, Bonk deletes that 0. Nice, bro. Nice. I'm down for that. I'm down for that. Bitmart. Okay, I've got the price here. Look. Oh, is that the price? Trade perps with CXs. Maybe not actually. So Bitmart. Bitmart. Solana. Let me have a look. Here we go. Oh, that's a Medium article. Sunny Rajpa, what's going on, pal? Welcome to you. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well. Right, let's go to put it in a trust and pay yourself through the. Yeah, I mean, we were talking about that yesterday. The whole trust idea. Yeah. What do you think about this new Sentinel project? I'm not 100% certain, if I'm honest. Oops. Oh my God, what have I just done? Ooh. Are you sure it's launched? I can't even find it. I'll have a look. I'm trying to find it while I'm trying to talk at the same time, but I'll have a look and see what, if anything, I can work out what's going on. I mean, it was trading at 0.0025 when it launched. Oh, it's called Soldex. Maybe that's why I can't find it. Oh, it's a different name. Oh my God. Go on, guys. Smash the like button. Yeah, appreciate it, buddy. Appreciate it. Is Polkadot dead? I mean, maybe. I mean, I don't know. I mean, a lot of coins come back. My view is what's going to bring it back, though? What is the kind of like reason it's going to push? That's the big question, isn't it? That's the big question. Is it going to push back to the upside or not? Big question mark. Big question mark. So yeah, we'll see. Right. Okay, yeah, so that, okay, right, fine, that's the problem you've got then. So everyone, so Soldex, everyone dumped the pre-sale by the looks of this. if this is the right one. I feel like this is not the right one, but it looks like everyone dumped. It's up 21% today. So, but yeah, it looks like everyone dumped the pre-sale. Well, that doesn't feel like the right one though. I'll have a look. I'll have a look and see. Monad's up 42%. Bruh, what? Yeah, I'll see if I can find out a little bit more info. Yeah, is it 35.47? Looks decent. Do you think there is any merit in Jake Claver's domino theory for XRP? Look, I can't speak ill of him specifically, but I mean, he has come out with some pretty wild statements. That's the only thing that, it's anyone's, yeah, maybe Crackerjack. I'll have to have a look. It's hard to do it while talking and trying to chat at the same time. It's hard. But yeah, Tim says, sent is the new price sale on XCL. Ooh. Have you noticed that there are more HMRC tax adverts on TV and YouTube in the UK lately? They're coming in January. I'm telling you, get the hell off exchanges come January, especially if you're KYC. If you're not KYC, then you're fine, but get the hell off exchanges before January. That's my opinion. Close your accounts. Yeah, I don't know anything about Sentinel, though. I'll have a look for sure. But yeah, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of people within the XRP ecosystem that kind of like, I mean, they sort of overhype stuff a little bit. I mean, it's easy to do, innit? I mean, you have to just go have a look, and people are like, oh, $10,000 XRP. We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, Busy Bear, what's going on, pal? XRP, Monad. Yeah, both doing very well today, actually. Both Monad and XRP are strong. BTC down a little bit, just on a little bit of a cool off right now. Nothing is anything too crazy, but yeah, XRP holding up as well as the broader market as well. Yeah, you're right, Tech. Like they do it. I mean, I saw one the other day. I have to be careful what I say here, but obviously you guys know I had a video that got like it got a channel strike, right? Because they were like, oh, you can't say this. And it said something like getting rich in Q4 or something like that. I saw a video the other day and the thumbnail was just the individual that did the video and it just had rich in big letters. You're like, what the fuck is this? How is that still allowed? And mine wasn't. And mine literally was like, here are some of the key data's financial economic policies that might change that essentially are going to pump certain crypto assets in 2026. They're like, no, that's not true. Like, Jesus Christ. Whereas if you just put a big banner that says rich, it's fine. Anyway, gets me worked up. Busy Bear, XRP ETFs are doing very well, by the way. We talked about that right at the very start of the stream. Very, very well. So yeah, good news on that. Yeah, good news. And like Monad's doing very, very well as well, which is great. It was great. Was tempted to sell XRP spot bag today. Got some profit back, but hard to know what to do. Yeah, I mean, look, that's the aim of the game, isn't it? The thing to think about with XRP is it's no longer speculative because you've always, once you start getting ETF volume like this coming in, you've got big market players buying XRP. You're like, all right, cool. And, let's see what we do. The one thing to watch will be what this number does. So 103 milli, what does it look like tomorrow? Ideally, you want to see it a little bit more personally, like 110, 115 would be good because you would almost then be in a world of saying there is an increasing demand for XRP, which would be pretty nice. So, fingers crossed we get it. But, I mean, it's a nice price. Broke out some key support levels. Broke the 20-day EMA, which, again, is good news. Nice move on volume. Like, RSI back to the central point. Well, that's good news. Like, all of that is good macro news. If BTC dumps 3% tomorrow, though, like, get ready. This will get wiped out. And it'll probably come retest 208, 209 again. But, we'll see. Does it seem the mirror? Yeah, Andy Babby, it does. The McRib theory is 100% in the. That's the only reason why the market's doing what it's doing. The McRib theory. Yeah. What was that about exchanges? Are you saying to take coins off Binance and Coinbase? So. Oh my God. I think one of my kids has just got out of bed. Okay, yeah, that's fine. I think so my view, and a lot of people have this view where they go, oh, don't ever have coins on exchanges. Get it off exchanges. That's not your coin, not your keys, not your. Do I think you should hold 100% of your portfolio on exchange? No. Do I think that you could have a proportion of your portfolio on exchange? Yeah, like why would you not? Like Coinbase, for example, you get 5% USDC. Binance, I think you get a little bit Mexi, you get like 15% on USDT. Like, I'm not saying hold 100% of your portfolio on there, but you want to hold a little bit on exchanges. So I'm not super weird about it, Mouse. I'm not super weird about it. The only thing I would be mindful of is if you're in the UK, which you are, there are new regulations coming in that basically every single day, exchanges are going to send to HMRC your unrealized gains on your purchases. So if you've bought, let's say you bought Solana on Coinbase, $8, as of January, let's say Solana hits $200, they're going to say Mouse has made, $192 on each Solana that he's played, which means that 40% capital gains tax or whatever, it's 25% capital gains tax. They're going to come for you and say you owe us $75 on every single Solana, or 75 quid on every Solana that you've got. Let's say you got 10 Solana. They're going to go, right, bro, we want $750 in taxes. So be mindful of that. Be mindful. Do you use any tool? No. So I have it all tracked on spreadsheets. So I have a big spreadsheet that I do every buy, every sell, every, all that kind of stuff. Is it 100% accurate? Yeah. Always pay taxes, everybody. Important. So yeah, I don't really use any tools. I just track. I track what I've got. I track what I get, and I track what it moves like. My advice sometimes if you've got a depreciation asset, it might be a good idea to have it on exchange. Just saying. So for example, if you if you moved XRP onto an exchange when it was like $3 and it's now $2.24, technically that's a loss. You could write that off as a tax, tax benefit. Just saying. Offshore exchange is going to start to take off. Maybe. Are you saying that would be taxed on unrealized gains? They want to try, and I don't think they'll necessarily tax you on it, but I think they'll say, we know that if you can sell that, we know what you owe us. I think that's what it'll be. I don't think they can tax you on unrealized gain because that's insane, but I think they'll know what your unrealized gains are, whereas at the minute they don't. And that's the difference. I have got a video coming out a little bit nearer the time. I know we're nearly into December right now, but I think it's like January the 1st something, or January the 10th or something like that goes live. So yeah, like a couple of weeks, we'll probably do it. We might even do it for a live stream as well and walk through what that looks like. My view though, they can't tax DeFi. I'm not saying you should avoid tax by that. I'm saying you should pay your taxes, but I think being smart is not a bad idea, personally. Just my view. And again, a lot of people might think I'm a crazy bastard, but that's my opinion anyway. Yeah, of course it is. I've always had a problem with this. Always had a problem with it because it's not fair, right? It's not fair. You take all of the, I get paying income tax. I get paying like for example, in a traditional market or a traditional job, so if I take my normal job, then should I pay tax? Well, yeah, because actually there is a building in which I work in. There are people that work for me. There are all these elements that go into it that need funding. And then obviously someone's got to sign off that it's a safe place to work. Someone's got to sign off that we're not going to kill loads of squirrels, whatever it is, right? All that kind of crazy stuff. So I kind of get it. But actually, if I take 100% of the risk, 100% of the risk, and if that risk then ends up costing me 100% of my capital, no one says, oh, well, look, is 50% back. No. You just go, bollocks, I've lost everything. But yeah, the government's going to go, well, yeah, but if you make money, I want, what is it, like 22% or something? I can't remember. What is capital gains tax in the UK? I think it's always dependent on your pay, but right, 18%. Okay. So, yeah, so they basically say you take 100% of the risk. We take 18% of your gains. Like, I just think it's nonsense. Up to 24%, depending on what category you sit in as a taxpayer. Yeah. So I just think it's nonsense. Now, equally, I don't want to go to prison. So, I'm all for making sure that we pay what we should pay. But yeah, I just fundamentally disagree with it. I just think, you can't be in a world, again, if you think about like a traditional 9-to-5 job, you as an individual don't take 100% of the risk. So it's like, okay, well, fine, I'll pay a little bit of taxes. Like I said, when you take 100% of the risk, which is why I think a trust is a good idea, by the way, which is something I'm looking into. And anyone who's kind of like big on investing, or, for example, if I was to go full time on YouTube and actually start to get, start to run a business that was important, that was scaling up, then yeah, 100%, you'd want a proper, limited company and all the rest of it, wouldn't you? Always pay your taxes, guys. If you get caught avoiding tax, they'll take your profits with compound interest. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Pay your freaking taxes, bros. That's my opinion. That's my opinion. Right. Greens want us to go to 40 plus. Yeah, I mean, it's insane, Johnny B. They just need to get the hell out of here. Like, no one's going to pay 40% tax. It's insane. Do you know the most, normally the most, productive and benefit? Like, look at Dubai and UAE and all the rest of it, 0% tax. Why do you think it's such a successful country? Like, you got to think where your tax money goes from. That's the other annoying thing. I mean, don't get me started on what all that sort of looks like. It's pretty insane. To be more likely to go to prison for offensive tweet. That's also true as well, yeah. Don't ever tweet about taxes. Just pay them. Jesus. Unrealized gains tax is a joke. Charging you for taxable event you haven't even made yet. Exactly. I don't think they will, by the way, but I definitely think they will be mindful of what you've got. They'll know. They'll be like, we know. We know you bought Solana at $8, bro, and it's $4,000 right now. We fucking know. We know when you bought that. But anyway, don't forget, by the way, hit the like button if you haven't already subscribed to the channel. By the way, we are moving as well. Use your free tax stocks and shares ISA to invest. Is that really? Isn't that just it's a limited amount of money though, right? Tech savvy, I don't know how they can. Remember, think about it this way, man. I don't want to get too deep into this because they'll swap my house. But if the only way they can track anything and link it directly back to you is if you KYC it. So think about when you KYC, you take a picture, you send your driver license in, so they have your address, your photo, where you live. If you think of just a random, like think of a MetaMask wallet or a cold wallet, like a Ledger wallet, you don't register, you register the wallet, but you don't register it with the details on it. So that's why I'm saying like DeFi is probably where I think a lot of people will end up going to. And then you'll start to get on and off ramping, which I think is kind of good stuff. So yeah, that's my opinion anyway. Yeah, 20,000. Let's go. 20,000 likes on TikTok. You guys are crushing it right now. Monsters share where to buy ALX 2049 tokens in pre-sale. No idea, but it sounds like a scam. Sounds like one of those token coins that you put in like comments on YouTube videos. Can you invest up to 20K in your ISA? Oh, is that true? What, tax-free, right? Yeah, but you custody it with a bank, right? Can you actually put crypto in it? Or are you on about just cash? I bet you can't put crypto in it, can you? So you're saying sell your crypto to then put 20K. They're going to tax you on the 20K when you sell your crypto. Like, that's the problem. So yeah, so if you've got 20 G's, fine, put it in. Where are you getting the 20 G's from? If you sell your crypto for 20 G's, that's a taxable event based on when you bought it. Let's say you bought Solana at $8, you're selling it at 150. They're going to tax you on 142 on every single Solana you sell. If that, let's do it. Let's work it out. Let's work it out. So if you had 20 G's, divide that by 150 Solana, gives you 133 Solana. They're going to tax you 20. What did we say it was? 20. Let's do it this smaller one just because it's funny. 18% on 142, yeah? 0.18. They're going to charge you 25 times 133. They're going to charge you $3.5 grand on your 20 G's. Just saying. Stocks and shares, not crypto, not yet anyway. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. ISAs will never go to crypto because unless the banks absolutely change where they are, they won't do it because actually it makes no sense for them to do it. So, yeah. That degree in risk and finance. Johnny B knows what's up. I don't think you can put crypto in an ISA. Yeah, you can't. What if you haven't kept a spreadsheet and been in the game for 7 years asking for a friend? I'd try and I'd tell your friend to stay beneath the radar, hopefully. Yeah, I've got a Vanguard one for the kids. Yeah, so, I mean, same as I. My trading ISA account on Revolt is tax-free. Nice. There you go. Yeah, Andy, baby, that's where I'm at. Again, think about it this way. Think about when a taxable event occurs. So, for example, let's hypothetically say you were gifted, which I believe, obviously it's not you, your friend, right? Your friend was gifted all of their crypto, right? And it's probably only about, let's call it $5 grand, right? And you can take 3,000 as donations over the course of, a year. So let's say they got it all gifted. So that's fine. Like, that's cool. Like, you don't need to pay tax on that. You'll only pay taxes when you either convert to a stable coin, convert to a separate coin, or sell back to cash. So at the minute, obviously, in that your friend for 7 years after they got their cryptocurrency donated fully and have never even bought anything, that's fine. It's fine. Got a 55K Audi A5 on sal sacrifice based on 60K sal for $410 per month, everything included except fuel. Nice. Only if I could put crypto under the mattress. Yeah, I know. You can't just get a non-custodial wallet. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. Yeah. Do you know what the crazy thing? I found out the other day, by the way, that your no claims bonus doesn't carry over, which I'm pissed about. So I had 23 years no claims bonus, and then I got a company car. I've had a company car now for like 5 years. And obviously I don't pay insurance, I don't pay tax, I don't pay fuel. It's a fully financed company car. And yeah, apparently no claims bonus goes. So how annoying is that? So when I eventually go and buy a new car, then I've got to pay full insurance, which is kind of annoying. This is why I need the bull market to come back. I need the bull market to come back and then yeah, then I can, you know, buy a car and it's going to be bullish. But until then, you know, I can't. And this is the problem. And then I'm have to pay like full insurance on it. Like, what the hell? Bruh, come on, man. You know, when I'm picking this up for like 80 G's and driving around just like, yo, it's 2-bit. Get my logo here on the front of it. Then yeah, chuck your cash into a sovereign class as tax. Oh, nice. I'm fine, no profit, no gains tax. Exactly, bro. Exactly. I'm sure you can get a cert from the company insurance provider. Do you reckon, yeah? Clarity Act next month? Yeah, I think so. I think so. This government needs to move on. Yeah, I mean, it's wild, isn't it? It is wild, in fairness. It is wild how insane our government is sometimes, but yeah. There's an allowance on capital. Yeah, so £3,000. So you're allowed £3,000 a year, and you can also offset £3,000 by like a donation to a family member or someone who lives in your house. So for example, I can say my missus, here's £3,000 in cryptocurrency profits, and don't pay tax on it. Once you get above that number there, you are paying tax on it. We'll get one last pump. Don't know when, but will it be in the next 4 months? I mean, maybe. I mean, look, maybe we get a pump tonight. You know, maybe we continue the move. Maybe tomorrow. You know, the weird thing is the US bought, by the way, which is kind of cool. So maybe we continue up. I just think right now you can't trust this move in the market. I could be wrong. I'm not saying that I know ins and outs or I have any sort of weird alpha, but again, just worth, I don't know, it's been worth sensible and see kind of where the market goes, in my opinion, which, yeah, I mean, look, alts are holding up pretty well, especially after a US buy, because US generally dump markets, weirdly. So let's take a real quick look at pre-markets just to see what they're looking like. I mean, imagine, like, I mean, not now, but I think it was Holmes and I got into, Jesus Christ, what was it? Like Peanut the Squirrel? Now, I sold, unfortunately, but that would have been worth, like, I think at the peak would have been like 40 grand or something. Imagine that. Hiya, yeah. I've got this £40,000, please. And like, oh, where did that come from? Peanut the Squirrel. They'll be like, okay, this guy's a crazy lunatic. Right. Anyway, Dow futures are up a little bit. We also have the S&P, but obviously it's super early on those as they just markets closed. You've got the Nikkei is unchanged. The Hong Kong Stock Exchange up marginally, which is kind of nice. You've got commodities looking like they're going to be bullish tomorrow. Wow. Commodities look like they're going to make a nice move, which is going to be good. The VIX, this is what we want to see as well, by the way. The VIX volatility coming down on the S&P. It tracks the S&P 500. So VIX coming down is good. And then we want to see treasury yields come down. So we're going to see the 2 and 10 year. The 2 year is going to move as 3 and the 5 year a little bit. So, I mean, look, markets feel refreshingly optimistic. 5.5% prediction on uptrend on BTC futures as well. So, yeah. Good. Make sure you're looking into the laws for the country you live in too. He's only talking about the UK. Yes, exactly that, Crackerjack. Interesting corkscrew. Yeah, it is. It is. I would have to move home if I had a car like that. Can you imagine a car like that in a housing estate like this full of unemployed? I think you should do it anyway, Craig. It'd be hilarious. It would be hilarious. I would not put your logo on the bonnet of that car. You'd be better off having your logo on the number plate. Don't ruin a nice car like that with a tacky... Come on, bro. Tacky. Wow. That's not tacky, bro. That is class, let me tell you. TikTok, can you see it? Look at this. This is what's going on YouTube, by the way. Look at that logo, bro. I mean, you guys can see it. It's like up here somewhere. That look. Anyway, as always, this is the end of the show. 12 minutes past. Man, we had a long stream again tonight. I'm kind of bullish on these streams. Nearly an hour and a half, actually. So, yeah, massively appreciate you guys tuning in. Lots of people tuning into the live stream. If you haven't already hit the like button or subscribe, that would be great. We're at 96 likes, by the way. A couple of more likes, get over 100. That'd be great news. Likewise, shout out to everybody tuning in on TikTok as well. We are building... I just think we're building something way cooler than we have for a long time. So I massively appreciate you guys taking a little bit of time out of your day. Logitech says, what's up? Looks like it turned into a bounce after all. Been scalping that bitch like crazy. GG's. That's exactly what I needed to hear before I end the live stream. Can we make a tax-free place, then draw out the profits? Asking for a friend. Jim Bob, the only way you can do it, and what I've heard, by the way, it's not financial advice, so I don't fully know, but you can buy like a gold visa for something like Dubai, which is 180 grand, which I believe then gives you instant citizenship to the country, which then means you could draw your crypto tax-free. I think Belarus is one, Portugal's another, but I think you have to live there for 6 months, and I think they can still tax you on it. So, yeah, my best advice is either don't try and scoot the system, understand the system. That is kind of where I'm at. So the company I work for gives us like a tax expert every year to kind of look over it. So for example, I work from home sometimes, so I can claim £6.20 back for my internet every week, which I then write off as a taxable expense. So yeah, there's all sorts of crazy stuff. And also, if you are like a big trader and all the rest of it, start a company. Like, there's way better incentives if you're a company director, because you pay yourself out in dividends as opposed to it being in like actual salary shares, which is way better as well. So yeah, just my opinion. But more on that, we'll definitely talk a little bit more about that in December, because I think it's going to be important. So make sure you hit the follow button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. As always, I massively appreciate you guys tuning in. Don't forget, we're going to be back tomorrow night. Like I said, I am unfortunately out with my boss all day, so I'm super excited about what that's going to look like. I think it's going to be a pretty painful day for me. So, fingers crossed, I'll be back tomorrow night. But until then, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you guys. Let's keep an eye on the market. 89K on BTC, 225 on XRP. Might end up being a pretty bullish day tomorrow. Take care, everybody. Thank you so much. See you soon. Bye-bye.